we are going to take. There is a separate send form, declaration form that they have made, so she'll share it with you, which is a good thing for us. Again, it's a separate form for the parents to fill in.
During admissions,
During admission time.
they would want to declare
yes.
that the child has any specific concerns, if they have any assessment done, and they are aware of certain needs. So we have a send declaration form which they fill in, which has details about various needs.
And if a parent largely, because the children are very young at admission, if you're looking at the early years, where the needs are not so manifest, and particularly if they are learning needs, then also the parent has to fill this?
No, this is only if the parent is already aware
Aware.
of an
Only
existing
aware.
special need.
Yes. All
This is
right.
only during
Only
admission.
that much.
If they are aware, they would want us to start intervening, and they are aware of the
Yeah.
need of the student, assessment done, and all of that. Then
All
they fill
right.
up this.
All right.
Sometimes parents were not, readily inform us that, the child have a concern. But when we observe, a team observes, then they finds that delays are there. Then they call us, we identify it. Then we interact with the parent. We will come to know that the child was
Absolutely.
already
This
going
happens
for
often
therapies.
with us as well.
Therapies.
When, child after much, we've recently had a case in which child was really misbehaving. And no matter what we did, all kinds of interventions, everything was indicating that the child had ADHD. And when we called the parent and said, you need to go for assessment, the parent said the child's already been assessed a couple of years back.
True, this happens.
Ah.
Happens here as well. And when sometimes even during the interaction, when we start speaking to them, that we are noticing certain things. Have you also noticed certain concerns at home? Then they start telling that they have been seeking therapy.
Yes.
They have been
Yeah,
following
then
up
we
on
will
this.
ask, them to fill this also.
I
If at
think
all-
they just hope that if we don't tell anybody, some magic will happen.
And also they feel maybe the admission process might get affected if
Yes,
they
yeah,
Yeah.
that is also
they
there.
have their reasons.
Yeah.
So that is
So
This is the
afterwards,
reference form.
this is the referral form. So usually, teachers in the first semester, like first term, we give enough time for the
Yes, we
teachers,
also do
child
that.
to settle,
Yes.
and teacher to well understand the child, and they will try their own strategies also inside the
We also
classroom.
do the same.
So maybe first month they observe, second 1 month they interact with the parents and start questioning them like, have you observed this? I'm feeling these difficulties in the classroom. And teachers start speaking, get to know more about the child. Then they call for a meeting and they will give some strategies. Our teachers are well aware of everything. We do frequent CPDs.
Yes.
They know how to identify also, and the strategies and general accommodations also they are aware. So they start implementing slowly from their side, and if it is not improving, minimum 2 weeks they try. That's a minimum. Learning difficulties always need a little more
They
time
need
to
to
work with the child
So
and
we
to
give
know.
the student and the parent to settle, understand the functioning of the school, give them that bit of time to cope with what
Yes,
is
to observe
expected.
everything. Yeah, we also do that. So when they come join in April, so I tell my teachers at least till August, we are not filling up any referral form unless and until we are very sure of it that the child
child
actually
has.
has. Yes.
So even with the learning needs, sometimes it is usually a gap as well because the children are very young in early years. So we make sure the parent is aware that we are seeing the gap. And if they start working and the gap gets filled, then there is no need for us to
No
do
need
it.
for that.
So even with the parent working, they taking other help, things are not happening until maybe 1 month or 2 months, and then the teacher figures out that no, nothing is working out, then we need to refer the child to the inclusion team, and then we do.
That mostly happens, by September month. Like June, by June, once teacher identifies, teacher gives strategies, teacher informs supervisor, supervisor also giving more strategies, and they have a collective meeting with the parent. They are giving little more time, if it is possible. Some cases immediately, the second day itself, they immediately have to inform us and take reference. Like if it is an autism, a very distracted and very hyperactive child.
ADHD, autism and all that, so there are times when we cannot wait for that.
I agree.
Children who
So-
self-harms or harms
So
others.
all your teachers are aware that what are the red flags for
Yes.
each and every.
Our referral form is quite clear with red flags for fine motor, gross motor skills, what are the red flags, for behavior, what are the red flags.
Okay.
There are 6-7 categories we have given. So once they are filling, we will come to know that the child is falling under.
Which particular
Which
Yeah,
particular
what exactly
area
are the-
exactly, where that we have to focus.
Okay. KG to grade 1, right?
And we have one for PKG to grade 1, another one is for grade 2 to grade 3. And
So I'm sure that the different parameters,
red
yes.
flags are
Different, yeah,
more
definitely,
added.
yes. Okay.
Ma'am, I will explain you all that.
I've understood.
It's a reading program.
I'm just also recording so that I remember there was something like this.
I'll explain
Based
you all
on
this, whatever
domain
we are
severity,
doing.
which is majorly affected, we can also suggest the parents to whom to consult externally. For example, fine motor, gross motor is a major part, then
Yeah.
they can go to an OT therapist.
Yes.
Like that. So if speech is a major concern, consult a speech therapist. Like that.
So would you provide that service in the school?
Yes, ma'am. I am
Ah,
myself
so do you only refer or you start providing your own
I
intervention?
provide my support.
I will take
one
you through the
session.
process. What
Alright.
happens is once we get the referral, we go in for 2 observations. The coordinator, HOD coordinator and the special educator, any 2 of them go for 2 observations. And when we feel there is a red flag, then what we do next is the teacher calls for the first meeting.
Alright.
We meet the parent and in that meeting we discuss the various concerns faced and we get consent from the parent to do an internal assessment. So with
Alright.
this internal assessment, we have speech assessment, we have something to do with learning needs as well, informal assessments that can be done which will help us identify if the child really has a special need and what exactly are we looking at.
Intervention support immediately so that the gap doesn't
And
widen.
also another reason why we would want to have an external assessment is we cannot provide the needed support for the child during examination if we do not have an external. We provide the needed support during classes, push in, pull out, whatever possible from the school front we can do.
Yeah.
But when it comes to examination, if the child has dyslexia, cannot read grade level, cannot write grade level, he will need that support during exams. So convincing some parents is quite a task, but then most of our parents do understand. They take some time to sink in that there is a need. They do not understand why should we go visit some center to get an assessment done. And it takes some time, but we try
It
to
takes.
explain it to them and have
Okay,
some
how important it is.
And also KHD also very keen into this particular things like the correct intervention is provided, correct support is provided from our side. Is it the right thing? Is it overly done? So all that they are looking into. So as per the assessment only we can go ahead with the
even
correct support.
our assessment accommodations are specific to the diagnosis of the student. So we also try to keep it in alignment with
understood, right.
CBSE provisions, especially for the higher grades, so that we do not provide them certain things and they are dependent on that which they do not get in CBSE. So that is how we try.
Parent
Only
awareness
required
is a
support.
very important factor here, ma'am. Because when I worked back in India in inclusion setup, parent awareness was less.
That's what.
That is the
right?
main
I
concern
agree.
which
I agree
difficulty
with
we
that.
have.
Yeah.
And here parents are having awareness. What is OT sessions, what is speech sessions, why my child is facing difficulty, they are accepting. But back in India they have, my husband was like that is why my child is like this. So more of awareness in parents is much needed, is what I feel. in
So like there
inclusion.
is a girl in our school, so class 2. So she repeated class 1. At that time also we approached the parent, but they were in denial and they did not get the assessment done. So she repeated class 1 twice.
No, but Shivani, I just wanted to understanding what she's just told us is that to provide any provisions during examination
You need
is
external.
you need, but internally if you've assessed yourself and the inclusion team has decided that this child requires intervention, did that happen in our case?
So ma'am, it happened, but it did not. That's what I'm saying. So because probably it was not identified as what exactly the problem is. So that
No, so then again, sorry if I might just, since it's a discussion, that if we lack competencies or will to be able, see, if we have an inclusion team that's trained, then which means they should be able to do it just because they just require a validity. But internally, we should know, we should provide support, we should inform the parents, we should inform all the stakeholders about the child's needs. So, the parent might need convincing, but that should not hamper the progress of the child.
child, right.
And also, ma'am, this internal assessment that we do, it it should be, we have a standardized one which we use for grade 2 to grade 10.
Acha.
But then for early years it is
It's a separate
it's an
one.
informal thing which we have
Screeners.
based on the curriculum as well as the age appropriate screeners. So when we do this assessment and we speak to the parent, if it does not match with what the parent is facing, there will be a disparity. So it's very important the person who is doing the internal assessment is doing it in the right way. And when we speak to them, they do agree that yes, even I'm feeling
The
fine,
same
I find
way,
the
yes,
same
yes,
concern.
same
If
concerns.
the
Right.
disparity is huge,
Then
then they
it
will
is
not
not.
accept it. So we have something called SNAP which we use,
Okay.
which is a standardized assessment tool which we have purchased from UK. It's an online thing.
It's called Snap.
Snap. I
Okay.
can show you how
Yes.
it works as well. So
And
maybe-
you've taken a license for Snap,
it is 1 year validity.
Okay.
So around 1,000 dirhams is what they charge.
and it is for 1 year, as many
As
children.
many number of students.
Oh.
It has both behavior and learning needs which
Okay.
can be assessed. I can show you.
You know, this entire thing of pushing parents to get a test done, well, it must be, but I don't think any reason why we should not start providing intervention.
Provided support. Yeah, here we do our internal and we provide the support because parents are actually wanting that support.
Yeah,
and
because
when
we
you
ask
start,
what is that you are doing to
so
support
once
my
we
child.
provide the support, they start seeing if there is some bit of progress, then they start accepting whatever we are
I
saying.
agree.
So slowly,
Absolutely.
it's a slow process, but then once they trust us with what we are doing, then they are willing to accept anything that we tell them.
It is like this. So we write it over here.
This test has got, can you repeat? I didn't record it.
Shonal reading test.
and spelling
test.
ma'am.
This is reading test and this is the spelling test. Reading test, spelling test.
So you
And
you
afterwards,
want-
we will
this
do
is
the
what?
scoring
This is
when
read
we
and
start
this is-
working with the child.
Writing, reading.
Okay, so we
and
ask them to read the
And
words
like
and
this
we
is
will
for
write it
grade
over
one.
here and we will
First
ask them to
grade,
write
right?
the
Yeah, because,
spellings in a
before
paper
that, the
and
pre-KG they won't
starting
do it.
session, you know, with the restart
So
session,
then basically
how many letters, I mean words teacher child knows and how many words he can write, we will score it. Then we start our one-to-one sessions.
That is
GOLCH.
So that is the progression of
That's
this, that pocket charts. Reading
Which
chart.
means that out of the Shonal's list, the children are able to read this.
Yeah, so we include in this not only Shonals always, sometimes some children like autistic children and all, they don't know letter identification. So sometimes we keep letters also there. So I will explain you man how it is working. So this so see this is the way you can see the readings. The child is facing reading difficulty, so we are asking the child to read from this list. We score it like this and the mistakes, so only 26 words the child could read. So now out of 40 26 are the proficient, you know, the child is already mastered it. So then we don't cross in front of children, we just put a mark. Then these words we make flashcards like this.
we just have to
So we
download
have
these.
bunches of flashcards. So 10 cards we take and we keep it in the first
So
pocket.
this can be also done
Okay.
for
So
the
first day
entire
we
class.
will show this like this, you know.
Actually, we do it for
We
the
read
entire
first
Yeah, because
and
then
we'll
then
ask
only you'll
the
get to
teacher
know.
to repeat it.
So these are
The student to
specific
repeat it.
Flashcards, you know, boosting up the flash memory. We show like this. I read funny, child will read funny. So like that all the 10 cards I will read first, then I'll ask them, now your turn to read it. So when the
It's
child
not
is
one by one, you read all 10 together.
five each.
Five
actually.
each, okay.
Then when the child is reading, child should not, you know, read letter by letter. If fluency is there, we will give it the second pocket. So first day everything will be in the first pocket.
Alright.
Only 2 words he could read, this will go here.
Ah.
Next day we start from here, we will repeat it, we will ask the child to repeat it. If anything is fluent, that will go up. If it is not, you know, read fast, it will remain there. This will from here, last pocket, it will come up, 1 or 2 words. So like that every 5 days we repeat, child repeat, and 5th day is the 5 days complete master code. That is the proficient one, we will keep it up. So after maybe 1 month and all the cards the child has mastered, we will repeat again. and we'll check whether these words are mastered. So together with that,
And you will get the
you can see
PDF. You can
same thing
take
we
a print,
have
laminate it,
decodable
and
sentences.
which we can use.
So using the Dodge list sight words, we have a small passages with big
And this
fonts.
also comes from the website?
Yes, website everything is available. You just need to
Yeah.
explore.
Yes.
So we teach sight words also, high frequency words also. Sometimes we include class words also, like what is coming in the classroom, most frequently used spell check words are also we can add. Then slowly, CCVC words, it goes like that. So we make sure that our children can read and write immediately. Spell check also we practice same pockets we are using for the spelling practice also. So every day, every day they do spell check
These are
practice.
words which are there.
Ma'am, another interesting thing I want to tell you here is she told me, which is available online. It is the Dolch.
Dolch word list.
Dolch word list, which has got all the basic words that are there for their to build their reading and the
Grade-wise.
writing skills, and which are grade wise. So for pre-nursery, that is our nursery. For upper KG, lower KG, there are a list of sight words which the children read and they should know, and that also helps us to identify if the child has any learning needs.
And then the other one that I
The
saw
same
is
thing.
Splendid Moms.
This is same actually. That is not as a checklist, a full set of
So
words.
these your words
Same.
are from the same list. Words.
Same. We
Very
have
good.
all these there, and say similar things is in a tabular form.
This is for
so
us
we
to
can
keep
take
track
care
of
of
Yeah,
that.
trap. No, so also keep a trap for children who are actually having that difficulty. For the rest of the class, one
This
could
can be
just
just
have
exposure
yes.
and picking up.
Yeah, so that's interesting. I've written that Dodge, and it's all free, ma'am. For all the classes, it's available.
And
the number of
I mean,
sight
we don't have any resources ki kami, right?
Ah,
Even if it
right.
is not
But
free,
just
but
like
if we know about it, we'll pick it up.
Reading level we mean pre-K or
I
KG1.
agree, I agree.
So we
But
take
ma'am is
KG1
asking
sight
for
word.
the general students as well.
I'm asking about general students also, because I think it's a good way of
Introducing
yes,
words.
yes.
And this goes up to whichever level the child is in school, up till 17 years.
This Dolch word list is basically until grade 4, grade 5.
Right.
And after that there is something called high frequency words. So those high frequency words is what we use with our grade 6.
And do you also inform the parents about these so
Yes,
that they
we
can
share
also
it.
help?
They the same pockets they are following at home also,
Ah.
and we get the feedback. We
The
have
practice is happening
parent
at
groups,
home as well.
parent,
LSA.
HOD, inclusion coordinator, special educator, class teacher, and ILSA also.
So all the resources are shared with the parents as well.
So
And they can make a pocket like this at home.
at home also they are doing it. And we ask them on a weekly basis, share with us what is the progress.
Oh.
So, both side it happens, so the progress is faster.
Great. And these word list is for a month or is it for a week?
Depending on
Ma'am, this starts 10 words by 5th day, that is Monday to Friday we follow. Friday, how many words are practiced? 5-day
5-day program.
program.
Okay. And if they aren't able to master, then it goes on in the next week you do when you do
Ma'am,
how
if
successful
it's
you.
not mastering, it will be the pocket one only.
Yes.
So we need to,
Yeah.
no, pocket one will remain there. Every day if he is not
Huh.
getting the word is there, but we have to be very mindful. 3 days he is not mastering, we have to use some other technology like multisensory method or something, method we have to change to teach the word.
So it helps us revisit our strategies as well.
Yes, all right. So Snap and Dodge is two good things we learned, I think, today.
And there was some mama something that your worksheet.
Worksheets.
Yeah.
And yesterday you might have seen I was working with a child.
Yeah,
So yesterday one happy thing happened.
Amal?
Amal's mother had sent me the video of making lemon juice.
Oh,
So we were, almost 2 weeks we were practicing how to make it through the flashcards.
And what is her problem? Isn't
she's on autism.
So that was the follow-up activity by the parent at home after you did that
Yes,
activity. in the
yes. We have to, everything, whatever we are teaching, we have to generalize.
Yes.
So what is happening over here should happen at home also, in the classroom also.
So she did that today.
Yes.
That is why the mother said
I was so happy.
Nice,
I
yes.
feel so blessed that
I'm
now
sure.
she was able to make
absolutely.
by herself.
Yeah.
and she was using the same words
Ah.
in what was in the flashcards
Ah.
yesterday.
Yeah, we were there
We were
yesterday
there,
night
yeah.
when she was doing it.
She has progressed so well. When she
Very
came in,
nice.
Amal was an admission.
Where
referred
it
by
was
the
identified,
parent.
yeah,
Parent
right.
informed us
Yeah.
during admissions,
Alright.
and then we were better prepared to accommodate
To
her
give the
appropriately.
right,
She
yes.
needed those visual cues. When she came in, there were a lot of things that she needed. So now when we see her settling in, picking
See,
up stuff, she
first we practice with I want is the sentence prompt for her. Ingredients we taught. She will pick and she will keep on that sequencing. So afterwards, all the 5 steps included in it. So you can say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So pick lemon. I'm showing. Pick lemon and I'm repeating it.
Yeah.
So when there is a visual frame, the child is well aware what is the first step, what is the second step, and it is getting registered.
And for kids on the spectrum, they need this visual.
Yes,
cues
they
to
need
work
it.
fast.
Yes, I agree. Yes.
And every time, she cannot focus for more time actually.
I could see that she wanted breaks.
Yes, so I was
She
keeping
wanted to
only
play.
getting 3 stars. Get 3 stars and get your break.
Yeah, I saw.
Okay.
Really great.
So I will show you yesterday's video while how mother had sent it. I felt so happy. So that at least she will be able, her life skills, day to day things she will be able to do it.
So with students who have a full-time LSA with them, we have this group selection also.
Ma'am, children's pictures we cannot do.
Because some parents have
Academics,
Yeah,
what is
I got
happening
you.
in the classroom also. But basically we focus on the base, strengthen the
I
base.
know.
Strengthen the base, but simultaneously we were working very close with the class teachers. As you have seen weekly meetings, we are sitting over there, and whatever happens, you have seen LA, HA, MA, differentiated sheets. But when we see that the LA worksheet also it's not matching to our child, if it is a non-verbal child, she cannot read, write, or she cannot express, she cannot do the way how other children are doing. So we change into it may be minimum
Even
to the
simpler.
oral.
Yes, yes.
Amal can pick and stick. If she
visuals
see
are what
pick
work
and
best
stick,
with most of us.
she cannot draw, she cannot verbally say the answer, so she will sort. Everything is sorting method.
And she's following the same curriculum as the other classmates.
Yesterday
but
I
with
explained them.
more of manipulatives
Of
and all.
course, right.
I have
So
told you
she's
only
picking-
accommodations for her.
yeah.
In a different way we are teaching. We are not changing. We are not cutting short anything. Even it is
She's
living
learning
and
the same
non-living
thing in a
things.
different way.
We make 2 columns, living here, non-living here, and we
she
give
takes it.
minimum
Yeah, yeah.
4 pictures. 2 living, 2 non-living. We will give. We practice it and she grasps it, and slowly we will increase the number of cards. Maybe it is 5 to 5, and even articles she has learned. It was very challenging for us to make her understand which are the vowels. And now, when she see the first letter itself, she know an apple. It's not a apple. So that is there. And sentence making we are working on now. We show her an object. We will ask her to describe it. We give model sentences. First is like a fill in the blanks. Then we verbally prompt. She started writing sentences
So you are
actually.
accommodating her in her-
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
which is very good.
maybe in higher grades it may be a challenge, but we will
At
try.
least, yeah,
We
yeah, why not?
have had students who could not write until grade 3 they were with us. And even he started picking Harun.
Harun, yeah.
So even he came in similar to Amal, and then he was able to pick up, and
Very
until
nice.
grade 3 he was there. Then we later moved on to specials.
And the sessions also, how to teach in the classroom. So weekly meetings we are sitting. If it is then and there, we can explain if simple things we will do. Otherwise, we'll have a separate meeting with the class teacher. We sit with them, we plan everything, what are changes in instruction also sometimes some changes
You
need to be happen.
some, yes.
And worksheet, common worksheet also need to be changed sometimes. Sometimes child cannot write, the notebook has to be differentiated.
Yeah.
So everybody is writing, child cannot write, at least we will give a trace. Child has to do the same thing in a different way. Child will not sit, that will not be taken away anyway. So we sit with them, we plan with them. Sometimes teacher find that I'm trying to do it but it's not working. How to do that, how you reinforce, how you make her sit. Then we will sit with the teacher, we will explain how to do. With LSA also we train in that way, so that whenever she is getting a break, extra worksheets, I will show you that. So all our LSS has individual files. So this is Amal's. All the extra practice sheets and resources, whatever we teach, credence. So now she has learned myself also. You ask anything, she will tell. Now we are trying to sequence into. If we ask, tell myself, 3 sentences she has to say by herself. That is our goal. We hope in short time we will. So like this, visual cards will be provided. Every week, teacher prepares resources. Teacher send to us. We look into it. If it is appropriate, we approve it. Then we give color print. So every topic there will be a visual cards in front of her because she cannot focus to the board.
So
These are the
this is
words
like
that-
she was not able to read.
This is the extra practice done by LSA.
Okay.
See everything we have this
What is
was
that?
taught like this. This and everything has visual cards.
I can see.
Yeah, she started reading sentences. So all these even vowels, consonants, month wise, subject wise, we had taught everything.
But all by visuals,
Yeah,
right?
all these are visuals.
And she's picking up everything.
Big-
Very nice, very nice.
But needs breakdown
Yeah.
and that simplified
Yeah,
explanation.
that
which
is one
different.
file and you can
Okay.
sorry. So every student you see different, what is the
Grade and
different, every child is different, their learning style is different. So even though the same child, in grade 1, both the child learns differently. So all these are
this is another student.
another student. And we all the classes we give month and a calendar in the morning. So circle time, the teachers, circle time.
we've seen.
So our students, we
Have something
we
in
have
their
something in their hand. LSA will show. Today is what is the date today? What was yesterday?
Yeah, I
What
saw
will
that
be
month
tomorrow?
was
So
there.
days
Yeah.
of the week and which month and calendar also.
Yeah.
So they will.
Very nice.
Understand.
Yeah. So month wise they have to segregate and they have to, so we look through it. This was an old tracking sheet actually.
So this report
Daily they
goes
write.
from the LSA to the parent. What
We
support
have-
was provided and how the child did.
Every
Okay.
day LSA writes and they make it a PDF and they share in that same group with the
WhatsApp
parent
group
daily
that-
reports.
So this we had seen yesterday is a reading corner, particularly with children with autism. This is what works because they are able to do this, and through kinesthetics they are learning. And I love these. These are social stories for children who have any behavior need. For example, this story is about attention. And just sit down with the child and take the child through these stories.
I just heard the sound.
And I love their story about anger. This is how children react if they're angry. So this is something called Autism Works, www.autismworks.com. There are these stories. And they are just taken through the stories. So there are all of this, hitting, volume, greeting, lots of them. And ma'am took me through this. If these are calming corner, they just sit down over here. The textures also calm them down. Then even when they are sitting, so this is brain gym, and even when they are sitting down, they are learning something, and I love it because, if I touch it, it just soothes me. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Even for kids with dyslexia who find it difficult to blend and read, incorporating vestibular stimuli makes it much more easier for them.
So what do you mean when you say vestibular stimuli?
Any kind of body movement.
Acha, like we call it kinesthetic.
Huh.
Ah.
Kinesthetic touch based
And some movement.
Vestibular is movement.
Kinesthetic,
Some jumping,
like
some movement.
Understood.
yeah, if we
Physical
have
movements,
sand tracing, sandpaper with alphabets and all,
Hmm.
Arva, please get one sand.
Sand tray.
Sand later, later. And we use sand tray. Yes.
Like blue and pink, there is girls and boys.
So we show visual cards, we'll ask them to trace over it, touch it. So touch is kinesthetic. And even, sand, we put sand.
So I understand. This is kinesthetic because it does with touch. It's tactile. Tactile.
Tactile, auditory, visual.
And that is this. All of this is vestibular.
Because it involves physical movement.
Ah, great. So much learning.
We also have this behavior part of the referral form. So if there is any behavior concern faced,
I've taken up some pictures on referral and also I thought we'll just collate it.
This is also very important.
This helps us
for
to
behavior.
track what is the reason for such a particular behavior. What happened before the meltdown or the outburst, or what happened after.
All
So
right.
what is it that is leading to the behavior? So we have this. The teacher maintains this and uses the feedback.
And based on this, then you do either the stories or whatever
And
interventions.
if we need to tell the teacher what strategy, if the child is doing it for attention,
Hmm.
then we'll get to know. If
And-
the child is doing for escaping, then we'll get to know and provide the strategy to the teacher that if he's behaving in certain way, how to deal with that.
So I have a child whose brother has very high autism. The spectrum is high. This child, so he's a younger child, and he doesn't seem to right now display any need, maybe a mild form, but his behavior is really poor. So he's hitting children. He looks bigger than his age, and he's generally using foul language.
And it could also be a social emotional built up in him. Maybe the parents are giving more.
Which is
time
how it would
and
happen,
care
right?
to
Yeah.
the
Ah.
other one. So he's not able to take it out or express himself. That could be one of.
So
the
how
reasons.
if such a case comes to you, so the dealing would be talking to the child.
Talking to the child, trying to understand, or if needed, getting the parents also involved, so that we get them aware that certain things are affecting the student.
Yeah, we are following the same, when by and large the same thing. The child is so articulate. So I told him, see, you've done it the third time, you'll have to stay home a day. He said, okay, and a young child, and he negotiated with me, and he said, no, hang in there, give me another week before you try to do this. Yeah.
And ma'am, I have seen some children who is pushing and all, sometimes the children is very hypersensitive. So they intentionally
Yeah.
they don't do it. But they hold it, it will be like this. They touch it, it will be the children feels that he's pushing me.
Or there
More
is
of a
another
kinesthetic,
possibility of impulsivity also.
Yes.
That he's not able to control his impulses. If he sees certain thing, the
Yes.
response.
The response comes automatically. There's no filter as yet.
For parents, it is
And so this coffee morning is what hour of the day?
it is usually in the morning,
A weekday.
weekend.
Weekend.
Saturdays and
Usually on
Sundays when
Sunday.
we can
So Saturdays, if you're working,
We come.
we come for that.
you come for that.
Parents, because parents will be on leave that day and
And
they are
we
more
get a better
comfortable.
turnover of parents when
Yes,
it's
true.
dedicated.
Ah.
So we have it in the morning 9 to 10:30. Usually is the time that we set, and the parents are invited. One guest speaker is invited, and we take the feedback from the parents as to what they would want to know more in the next coffee morning.
And these are only parents with children with
Special
needs.
needs.
Okay. And when you say special needs, is it ADHD, autism, or is it even like a mild form of dyscalculia?
Every student who is on our list, we send an invite.
And so you have these kind of children in your list?
Yes.
Dyscalculia, dyslexia,
And we even have
dysgraphia.
Yes, ma'am.
You have?
Mostly
just
coming.
ADHD,
Uh-huh.
anxiety disorder, depression. Then we have some students who are on autism spectrum but high functioning. They do not need much support. at all.
Right.
Just level 1. So we have mild cases, students with just cochlear implant. But then we do send out an invite to those parents as well. If they are interested, they do join in. And they come and speak to the other parents. It's mainly building the parent bond as well. certain things worked with my child, you can try with your child as well. So there's emotional
Like a group
support for the
support.
parents.
Yes, when all the parents, mild to moderate to severe students' parents are there, they share their experience each other. So other parents feel that I'm not
Alone.
I'm not alone in this
yes,
journey.
and I can also apply the same.
There
So
are
they
various
ask.
things that we might
So
not-
when the parents, when you invite the guest to speak, then you also, maybe one of the parents can also speak about their
We
journey.
call sometimes
by the
parents
end,
also.
after the question answer session,
From
we have
parents
this
also we had speakers before.
speakers, and also we have sometimes a session which is not structured. It is just give and take of experiences, finding out what works best for everyone. So we have had those kind of sessions. as
Some
well.
parents are well experienced because they have gone through all these and they
And
learned
they are professionals.
out of their need.
Like a OT therapist, we have one OT therapist, we have one physiotherapist who is also a parent of a student with special needs. We have a speech therapist whose daughter has a cochlear implant.
She had taken
So they
session
do
for us.
give certain feedback, certain things what worked well for their child, which can be tried with the other parents.
When it is both parents
It's more
and the
bonded.
professional speaking part, it's more effective.
And this coffee morning makes us much bonded, with
Yes,
the parents and
absolutely.